Looks like we're live. Do we have
We are
validation
live.
on our
Yeah,
status?
we are
Yay.
absolutely live. No doubt about it.
Good morning,
Good
everyone.
morning,
Good morning,
everyone.
Darcy.
Yep. Good morning, Jeffrey. Yep.
So, another day,
Yeah, we made it.
another stream.
Oh.
They still let us on the air. I can't believe that. It's funny.
Yeah, they don't. It's because we're under the radar.
Now, I did. We're under the radar. That's so funny. I did notice, we were talking about the last stream, how it looked like my avatar wasn't working right. And it's I'm looking at him now, and it still almost seems like I might have to mess with him a little bit on off time. But one of the things I did notice watching the video, where Craig complains about the volume being low. I don't know what I was watching it on, but I did know I did share that similar opinion. I was like, I thought the volume was a little low. I had to spike the TV or my computer. I forget what I was doing, but I was just mentioning that. So now it's recorded and validated that Craig was maybe had a little bit of validity to his statement.
Or maybe it's just the both of you.
Yeah, yeah, and it could be device or whatever. I'm not sure.
That's
You know,
interesting. I
if
didn't
anybody in our
notice, but
community.
yeah. I guess
So,
we'll just have to start watching more of our videos to see.
and I don't know, maybe like if we have any real sound people out there, when we're watching the sound bars on the bottom, is it supposed to go into red or am I supposed to avoid red? So you have like a big green area and then you have a little yellow and then you have red. And I know that you're not supposed to top out because you start losing your peaks, right? Of your voice and stuff. It starts cutting off if it gets too loud. But we do have a little more room to go on our volume bar. You know what I mean?
Well, Greg says it seems okay today.
Is he at work?
Yep. He also
Oh yeah,
says
yeah. He's. I gotta read the chat.
it's like you guys are like synced. You've mind melded.
Well, how long have we been friends, Craig? Since let's see,
Let's see who comes up with it first.
31 years,
Whoa.
something
You
like
guys are
that.
old.
12. Since we've been 12. See, now you can back calculate how old we are.
31 to 12. Oh, you've been friends since you were 31. I get it.
Since we were 31. No, since we
Is
were
that what you
12.
said?
Since we were 12. Something like
Oh.
that.
I was confused.
And if I had, let me check my math. If I had 12 to 31, isn't that 43? And I think I just turned 43. So, now I'm officially dated on the show. I'll leave your age to mystery, but
Yeah,
she's the same.
we're the same age for a couple more weeks.
Yep.
And
then you're an old lady again.
And I'm older. Yeah, I'm only an old lady until we're the same age.
So yeah, I think Craig and I have mind melted a long time ago, and then he had the unfortunate pleasure of living with me.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I know.
And he survived, and you survived.
Well, it was easy for me to survive. He's a great roommate. Me, I probably leave a little to be desired, but he managed. He managed. So.
That's awesome.
All right, on to the show. So it sounds like the volume's okay. Maybe it's just quiet in the shop today, but
yeah,
I'll ask
my nephew Alex if you're watching. Tell us. Yep. I don't think he's gonna be watching now.
Yeah, nobody watches. We only have one person. Grandma's probably watching, so our little stats are probably a little off. But Bryce and Link said they were gonna wake up today for our show and watch and harass us. So we'll see if they show up at some point.
I don't think they made it.
Yeah, I was like, I told Blink last night, I was like, it's at 8. He's like, yeah, I know. I'm like, okay. Yeah, so we'll see.
That's awesome.
All right. So hopefully they make it by the time, because they were like, what's it about? And I was like, I think it's about do dogs need glasses? But,
yeah, I don't know.
So, yeah, we'll talk about normal stuff today. And I'm actually, I said this last time, I'm really excited about our lineup again today. We got a lot of cool things that I haven't got to read yet, because we try not to read them ahead of time too much, other than skim it to make sure it's not just total trash. We've had a few of those on here where we've read through it real quick. And we're like live, and it wasn't very good. And so, but we have some good ones today. And then Wednesday, we are going to continue our blockchain discussions, and we'll be getting into the nitty gritty of smart contracts. You know, more about what they are, what they do. You know, they're just fancy programs, because this is leading up. This would be leading up to DApps, which are decentralized applications, which is, you know, what everybody's going to be actually using. So for the regular users, you'll be using DApps, decentralized apps, to access blockchain type programs. I guess that would be software, networks, something like that. So you have to understand smart contracts. Well, you don't have to use the application, but it would be helpful to know smart contracts if you ever plan on building those applications. And then next week, what do we got? Oh,
Your favorite?
yes, we need to figure out some way to block spam. We have space
Bryce
travel.
made it.
Oh,
Sorry.
Bryce made it too. Woot woot.
He says good morning.
Good morning, Bryce.
Yep.
And then, so we have space travel, we have quantum computers. Why can't we block robocalls? Why can't we? Well, I know why, and you'll find out here Saturday. I think that'll.
Yeah.
Ooh, will that be our first venture into the political realm? I think so.
Ooh, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe
Yeah,
we
we'll
can
see.
maybe we can dip our toes in today. Let's try not to.
Yeah,
We'll
dip
do
our
our best
toes
not
in.
to.
Well, we kind of, yeah, we're gonna dip our toes today. You're right. You're like 4 tabs down. It'll be interesting. So let's get on with the show. Living near green areas reduce the risk of suffering a stroke by 16%. Darcy, define a
That's
green
pretty
area.
bold statement.
What's a green area?
Oh, that's a good question. I believe it's an area with a lot of green space. Oh, well, I mean,
Yeah, you're fine. It's just funny because that is probably what it is. I don't know.
it's where I'm from.
It's where you're from. Yes.
Yeah.
The
Being
Everglades? Is that where you live? The Everglades?
oh yeah, I meant as the eggplant, but yeah. Well, yeah. So I guess that would be a green space. I'm originally from Washington State. There's
Oh,
a lot
yeah.
of Olympic um, or the Cascades, the Olympic National Forest.
What's the Olympic
Green
National
space.
Forest? Just because it's near Olympia?
No,
What? Explain that real quick.
Olympia's a city.
I know that. Sorry,
It's
I knew
a
that, but
park.
why do they
It's
call it
a
that? It's an interesting
well,
name.
that's the same name, same reason that Yellowstone's called Yellowstone, and
Just that is the name they picked.
yeah, that's just the name. I don't
Oh.
know. I never asked before.
It was just Olympic. I didn't know if they held like Olympic events there at one point or like.
No, that would probably be dangerous. I don't know. It's a rainforest, so
Is it?
it probably yeah, it absolutely is. It wouldn't be very hospitable. I mean, it'd be
How
beautiful.
many rainforests do we have in the United States?
That's a good question. Let me look. I'll let you
I didn't know there.
And-
I mean, I never really. When you said that, it kind of was like, "There's rainforests in the United States," and and then I was like, "Wow, Jeff, you're dumb."
Oh, you're not dumb.
like, well, just because, you know, you live in your country and you don't even know some of the stuff that's in it.
Oh, well,
it's
this
interesting.
I found a list of them.
Mhm. I bet the Everglades. I mean, I guess I would.
I mean, the first one is in Alaska, Tonga Grass Olympic National Park, Washington. I'm sorry, I can't say it. I can't pronounce it. It's another in Alaska, Puerto Rico. Oh, 4. There's 4.
There's just 4.
If I would have kept scrolling, I would have.
What's the Everglades
counted all.
considered? I know it's not a forest, but what is that?
No, it's a
How do they describe
I
that?
would a wetland.
It's a
I
wetland.
believe.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm in the Everglades. Yeah, wetland.
Okay. So,
I'm glad.
yeah.
I'm glad I got one right.
Well, you educate us about rainforests in the United States. So,
Yeah.
okay, so you got 2 up in Alaska, right? And you got 1 on an island that I would believe there would be a rainforest.
Yeah, makes perfect sense.
So Washington's the surprising one. Okay.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I saw a bear there.
You saw a bear?
And Olympic National. So when I was in high school, I was in um, environmental science and a class. And so our class went to the forest for a hike and we saw a bear. So a few of us had gone ahead and we saw this bear sprinting. It was horrifying
wait,
because it was a huge bear
wait,
and it's
wait.
running, which is
Why is the bear horrifying?
they're massive and they're beautiful, but
Oh,
if they're running, it usually means that
but I'm a bear and
they're
you're not scared of
close to you.
me.
Well, I know you and we're
Okay.
friends, and I live states away.
So how close were you to this bear?
um, let me.
I mean,
I'd
like pretty
say like
close.
yeah, I'd say like maybe like because I'm more of a city person.
Mhm.
Um, I'd say like a block away,
Okay.
but
Okay.
in the forest with some trees.
That's the best.
So
So
how
a
far
city
is that?
person
Like,
should describe distance by blocks. I was just like, I was
like
trying
a
to
half a
calculate.
block? I don't know.
I was trying to calculate. If anybody in
Yeah,
chat knows how
I
long
know.
a block is, and is this a New York block or is this a Florida block? Because I remember when I walked in Tampa
Yeah,
at our
Florida has
office.
long blocks.
Yeah, they were
So
long
like,
too. Chicago's are kind of
so
big
maybe
too.
like across the street and the house right behind it. I don't know. Like it's
That's just funny. But
far.
yeah, a little distance, but not much.
Yeah,
Wow.
no, too close. Way too close. And so there was probably like four or five of us that had gone ahead. And it was just this area where it was a bunch of trees. It was pretty, um, there was just the needles on the ground. There wasn't a lot of, moss and stuff. It was just very open, like this very open area. And we just saw this bear go by and we all just kind of hid behind trees. And as the rest of the class came up, we told them about it. And my teacher got really nervous.
Yeah, they're like,
I
you
didn't
didn't sign the
while we were
waivers.
driving up. Yeah, yeah. While we were driving up, a bunch of students had seen bears, a couple bears on the drive up, where our teacher would normally see elk. He said he normally had seen elk and things like that. It was his first time ever seeing bears, and so there was something going on at that time. Um, but yeah, we
Maybe
made
they
it
were
to the
having a
story, but that was
convention, a
my
bear
bear
convention.
encounter.
We do have those sometimes.
It totally was. You weren't there. You should know. You should know about this. You're our bear
Yeah, they don't let
expert.
me into the bear conventions anymore.
No.
They say I've sold out and I've went mainstream
Hmm.
because I'm on YouTube and famous now.
Oh, it's not the shirt. You're
Oh,
like once you start wearing a shirt, you're out.
oh, Grandma's got a comment. She says, "I think of a green area as a space covered with grass and trees."
That's perfect.
Oh,
So
and we
like
got Craig talking about bears. Bears with shirts aren't scary. Winnie the
the
Pooh, Yogi the Bear, and the forest fire bear. Smokey? You forgot
yeah,
about Smokey
that's
the bear?
hilarious. I almost said McGruff, but I was like, wait, that was the
McGruff.
dog.
He's the dog. He's the Crime Stopper dog, right?
Yeah.
Uh, I think that's why we have more missing people and more crime nowadays because we don't have McGruff anymore. And did you see him?
Oh,
They redid him. Like I thought I saw him a few years ago, and they made him
yeah.
newer, and it just didn't carry the same. I don't know. It needed to be old and like kind of grainy video, and
Yeah, like Columbo.
yeah.
He's very Columbo vibes. I
All right,
love McGruff.
we're gonna get back on track now.
Okay.
So yeah, I think Grandma's pretty accurate. That was a good story
Yeah,
though,
we
by the
did a
way,
nice
with your bear.
job.
I wouldn't want to be anywhere near a bear, by the way, in real life when I'm not in my bear suit, you know. So
Yep.
it's kind of scary.
It is super scary.
Um, so I think that would be a pretty accurate. Any space that would have a lot of plants and vegetation. Um,
Like a big park,
Big
probably.
park would probably be considered a green space. Some of those rooftop things. Um,
Yep.
and you could probably have an indoor green space with like a greenhouse or something like that.
Mm,
Some of those really cool indoor botanical gardens are nice too.
yeah.
And so they're saying, which makes sense, it basically there's less pollution in the area.
Yeah, the trees or the plants absorb it
Hmm.
for the CO2.
So having lots of plants around. Now I did read before. This may not be accurate because this is my memory and plus reading and then not cross referencing with like 10 different things, which everyone should always do. You know, you gotta see what you when you're looking for something, especially what I'm about to say, you need to make sure you look for the opposition. Do that. It will do you justice to understand what the exact opposite argument is coming from. And if you don't find one, then maybe what you're reading is a little more accurate. I'm not saying because you don't find one, you should assume that because somebody could have scrubbed the opposition. And that is very possible in the internet if you guys don't know that. You can remove everything. And so, unless it's on blockchain. And so definitely read. But I did read, I believe, that house plants don't really add any extra oxygen to your house due to the nature of how air flows through houses.
Hmm.
Yeah. So somebody
Like
can validate that.
there's too much movement for them to
Yeah,
really make
just
it.
overall, you would have to have an insane amount of plants inside your house to make it where you're actually gaining benefits, is what I read. And it was when I say an insane amount, like you'd have to. I've seen people with everything covered, you know, just literally everything around, like whole rooms just covered. And so then that would probably be what they're talking about. But you know, even like for me, I have I don't know 12 bonsai trees in an area. I don't think that's adding a ton, but maybe different plants. It would probably decide. It would depend on your plant. So just something to keep in mind if you're gonna try to increase. You know, if you're keeping plants because of that, make sure you do a little research and see which ones do the best for that.
That's funny, I I thought like people had plants more for just because they just seem really peaceful. Like they just
Oh no,
have a
I
lot of
actually tried to target it.
peaceful.
My bonsai started out that way. Oh, as a
Okay.
gift. Link gave one to
Yeah.
me as a gift,
Aw.
and then that kind of started the bonsais. But then the reason I got into it is because, like, really a lot of them, I was like, you know, we work at home, and
Mhm.
you're sitting in that room the whole time, and I was like, oh, I can increase my oxygen. You know, I don't go outside, so I do open windows, but you get what I'm saying. So and then I came across that information. I was like, oh, but I still keep them because yes,
Yeah.
because they're pleasant and there is a calming and you know they're just nice. They're my buddies till they
Yeah,
die.
I need to get a bigger desk because I've got now that I have two monitors. That's amazing. I
You
can't
don't
see
have
my
three,
succulents.
weirdo.
I know. I know. I know. I need a bigger desk. But yeah, my succulents I had to put out in the front room
The
or in the kitchen.
succulents.
I
Mine
really
grew to like all crazy. Like they're just crazy. They died because
oh.
I decided to stop watering them because they were just out of control.
Yeah, the one
Yeah.
that I got from our tech days, it finally died. Just like our team.
I got one from the onboarding. I hope if you're a subscriber, Miss HR lady or recruiter lady, I did appreciate it, but I let it die.
It didn't survive.
No, well, it survived for like years. It just kept growing and getting
Oh.
all big, and it got succulents have a problem where if you you don't give them the right light, they elongate, and then it's weird. It's a weird thing, and it messes them up. Like it doesn't mess them up, but then they look all weird.
Yeah.
So mine stretched weirdly because of how they are. But yeah, it did, and then it just kind of like kept growing, and it was all weirdo. So
So it was perfect. Perfect for you.
yeah, no, it wasn't a good plan.
Oh.
All right, dogs. Dogs can see. Did you know that?
Yeah. I did. Actually, I did know that.
Okay. So we've covered the basics.
Yep.
And they can only distinguish between
There's
blue
a
and yellow hues.
no, it says can they? Can't oh. Oh.
There's
I
not a
read it wrong.
question on the
Never
end
mind.
of it.
Yep. You win.
Dog vision is very different from human vision. Well, yeah, I can see other colors. Well,
Yeah.
I at least think
Ours
I
is
can see
different
other
though.
colors. Dogs see the
Oh.
world. Oh, what? Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Have you done that? The eye color test? Is that what it's called? The colorblind test?
Yeah, I go to an eye doctor. They do that.
Oh, do they? Oh. I don't go often enough. I forget.
Yeah, they do the red and green color blind test.
Okay.
Yeah. So you, all right, Miss Fancy Eye Lady. Yeah,
What?
the bad eye people, they have to go all the time get their eyes
Oh,
checked.
no, mine are getting worse if it makes you feel any better.
No, it doesn't, because
And I
mine
have a
still are
floater.
getting worse.
Oh,
Not
yeah, I have a
really.
floater right now. I need
Slow.
to go in every once in a while. I think there's like a little fly, and it's just something in my eye floating around.
They'll tell
Well,
you just to deal with it. That's what they told
probably.
me. Why?
Oh,
Yeah.
that sucks.
Yeah. So, all right. Human eye works thanks to three kinds of color detecting cells called cones.
Yep.
By comparing the way each of these cones is stimulated by incoming visible lights, our brain distinguishes red wavelengths from green wavelengths, and blue wavelengths, and yellow wavelengths. Dogs' eyes, like those of most other mammals, contain just two kinds of cones. Well, then that makes complete sense why they
Oh,
miss a color.
yeah.
So they're missing the red one. That's it. These enable their brains to distinguish blue from yellow, but not red from green. Cool. Dogs are not completely colorblind, but their eyes are structured in a similar way to those of people with red green color blindness, whose eyes also lack the third kind of cone normally present in humans. A color vision scientist at the University of Washington who conducted many of the modern. Oh, that's just what he said, according to him. We can get
Interesting.
we can get an idea of what dogs see, says Dr. Neitz. Even though they didn't say,
Oh, yeah,
he's
Jane.
just a scientist, so he didn't have a doctorate. Oh, he needed it. Jay Neitz. Um, we assume the brains interpret signals from the cones, much like the people with color blindness do. All right. Furthermore, do we want to get into color blindness?
Um, I don't. I mean, I think those glasses that help with, people see colors that they can't normally see are pretty cool. Um, I don't know what else to add. The color blindness. Well,
Do you know anybody
there.
colorblind?
I do. My uncle is colorblind.
Has he ever said that he has a missing cone?
He hasn't, but he does try. He does wear like similar colors, and he has mentioned that he when he goes to the store to go clothes shopping, if he's not with somebody, he'll ask what color things are so that he knows, um, what he's getting.
So it says to see blue and yellow, dogs and humans rely on neurons inside a part of the eye called the retina. These neurons are excited in response to yellow light detected in the cone cells, which are also inside the retina. But the neuron's activity gets suppressed when the blue light hits the cones. A dog's brain interprets the excitation or suppression of these neurons as a sensation of yellow or blue. However, in dogs and people who are colorblind, both red and green light have a neutral effect. So basically, nothing gets excited. There you go. Easy signal processing. Zeros or ones. On or off.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. So
I,
it looks like
can
the.
you hear Ella barking?
Uh huh. They were like,
Okay.
cool. She's like, that's all I see.
She's like, "Can we stop talking about it?
So red or
I'm just
green,
like everyone else."
they see shades of gray. Cool. All right. Now let's get down to
That's
the
pretty cool.
bottom where um they talk about how sharp is dog's vision.
Mm. Yep.
Researchers discovered that dogs, or at least the whippets, pugs, and the single Shetland sheepdog that participated in this, they didn't do a very wide study there.
Yeah.
Like we had these three dogs that we found on the street. We're gonna do a study on them and see how well they see. And they probably, they probably had a hard life, and one's missing an eye, and we're very near. Yeah, see, they picked the worst sighted dogs. So dogs were very nearsighted. So it suggests The experiment results suggest that dogs in well-lit condition roughly have 20/50 vision. This means, so when they say 20/20 or 20/50, here's what it means. That they have to be 20 feet away from something to see it as well as a human who is 50 feet. So that's it. You're losing 30 feet of view. While dogs' night vision is fairly blurry at roughly 20 by 250, so your dogs can't see very well at night.
I can't see them very well at night either.
It is also much more sensitive than humans' night vision. Dogs are something crepuscular. Crepuscular? I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Crepuscular right here. But meaning that they tend to be most active at dawn and twilight, according to the AKC. While human eyes are chock full of cones, which help detect colors and work best in bright daylights, dogs' eyes contain more of the light detecting known as rods, which distinguish between light and dark, and thus are at their best in low light conditions.
That's interesting. Our dogs are always nuts in the evening. I don't think it's because they can see better, though. They just sleep all day.
So the takeaway: dogs have better night vision than humans. So ours is even worse than that. That's horrible. And then while you think dogs may live in a dull, blurry world compared to ours, there is one area where their vision beats ours. They are much better at detecting motion. This is due to something called critical flicker fusion rate. The image, a light, imagine a light that flickers faster and faster. By the time the light is flickering at 60 times per second, humans will believe the light is shining steadily. What is 60 times per second? Darcy?
What do you mean?
Isn't that like frame rates of movies? That's how they trick us to make like motion pictures worked back in the day.
Yeah.
So that's, you get it up to a certain things. According to a study, the same light has to flicker roughly 75 times per second for it to fool a dog. So the ability is likely enables dogs to spot moving objects such as prey much more quickly and accurately than humans can. So if you if you are a hunter, then you would know all these little minute details of how dogs see, because you would want to set them up for the most success. So you want them, basically, it kind of says that they're really good in low light times detecting prey. So you don't want to be out in the evenings or in the early mornings around wolves and stuff, right?
Yeah. No,
that would be when they
really
see you the
wouldn't.
best.
No.
If you going out at night would actually be your best bet, right?
Mhm.
Because
But
they
then you can't see anything.
yeah, then you can't see.
You're really at a disadvantage.
Yeah. Yep. All right, let's
Even
do
more
one
so.
more and then we'll take our break.
Okay.
How do snakes hiss if they don't have front teeth?
That's weird. That's funny. I didn't even think of that part. Yeah.
Snakes
How
have a
do they?
special technique that lets them hiss.
What is it?
Dogs say woof. This is the worst starting line. Dogs say woof. Cats say meow. Snakes say sss. Did I do good? Is my
You
cat
did.
sound,
That
or
was
should I
amazing.
went woof meow? Oh, that was a horrible.
That's really-
I don't know. My cat meow needs some work.
Yeah, it does. That's hilarious. And you have a cat.
I should bring Ron up here for a soundbite.
Aw, I like that your grandma's cat's name is
Ron Weasley.
Ron.
To make this sound, humans have to position their tongue against their front teeth. Snakes do not have front teeth. Yeah, they have big old fangs. So how can they make the sound? And sometimes even stick their tongues out at the same time. Ooh, that's a challenge. Try to make the hiss sound with your tongue out. I was waiting for you to do it. I did the
know.
animal sounds. Like I already embarrassed myself enough on that. So
Yeah. So
is
it
it
was my turn.
yeah, it was your turn.
I
So
did it. There was just a breath.
yeah, I know. 'Cause I don't think you can hiss with your tongue out. You'd have to really have a big tongue to where you could kind of like back it up against your teeth, right? Um, like a Gene Simmons tongue or something. I bet he can hiss with his tongue out. As it turns out, that
Probably.
snakes make that hissing noise a bit further back in their respiratory system than we do, in a structure called the glottis. The glottis is a tiny opening at the bottom of the snake's mouth that opens when the snake breathes. Like a literal
Hmm.
opening? A hole? I wonder if it goes to the outside.
That's the way that I think of an opening.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
just
yeah,
a
why would you use that?
hole.
I don't know. I mean, I guess your esophagus could be an opening, like in your throat. But
Yeah.
I don't know. That's interesting. The glottis is connected to the trachea or the windpipe, which itself is connected to the snake's lung. Snakes only have one functioning lung. The other is a vestigial, so it's fake.
Vestigial?
Vestigial, meaning that it's now a small remnant of a larger functional organ that existed in the snake's evolutionary ancestors. Oh, okay.
Hmm.
So that would be something that used to be in use that has, through evolution, no longer become useful. The functioning lung is made
Interesting.
up of two parts. Okay, so there's a lung that does what we do, that absorbs oxygen. And then the back half of the lung is what is called the scalar lung. It's basically like an old timey fire. I love that. An old timey fireplace bellow. It's
Yeah.
just an empty balloon for nothing but holding air. So when the
Huh.
snake goes to hiss, it will expand its ribs, take a big deep breath, and then just exhale for a really long period of time. The hissing noise is a result of the fast moving air passing through the glottis. It is literally just air passing through a small opening, so they can change the volume of it by squeezing the ribs harder and pushing out more air. But it is really just a what? Go ahead.
They're just farting out of their mouth.
oh, oh,
Sorry.
that's so funny.
Maybe-
So
That's
a
awesome.
snake hiss is just a fart, a snake
It's
fart.
just a fart.
Yeah, that's
That's
the way to think
amazing.
of it now. So now, anytime a snake is hissing at you, they're just farting.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry. We
Well, I
talked
didn't
about this
expect.
last week.
Yeah.
The sense of humor of a 12-year-old boy.
So this means their tongues have nothing to do with it. Yeah, because it's their face butt.
Face
So
butt.
yep.
Aw.
And see, they must have got with the daddy long legs and created this whole deep fake narrative, right? They're like, we gotta come up with this new
Absolutely.
word, and they're like, man, we heard that humans can do this thing with their tongue and their teeth. What is that called? And so then they went on a big research finding fact mission, and they studied humans for a really long time and learned how we talked and learned our language and stuff like that. And then they're like, it's called a hiss. And so then they planted the deep fake information, and they're like, we're hissing. We're hissing. We're not face farting. We're hissing.
What if it's the other way around and humans were just like,
This is too gross.
people people are scared of snakes when they hiss. How can we do this? Because nothing will get rid of somebody else like a fart.
Uh,
They're just like, you want to be alone? There you go. It's pretty genius, actually. Sorry.
so we'll finish our thing. It is kind of funny. So when their tongue
Yeah.
comes out, they're just capturing volatile organic compounds in the air. So the two forks give them directional sense of chemicals. They pick up more of a coyote smell on the left than the right. They know, okay, so that's interesting. They're just their tongue is really testing the air for what's going on, and the tongue flick is for them to gather information. The hiss is just to keep that distance or maintain being intimidating. Yeah, because face farting isn't the best intimidation tactic. And things like that. So, unlike other animals, snakes make the sound for just one purpose: defense. The hiss doesn't convey information or even very much from situation to situation. It comes out almost no different than white noise. That's it.
That's awesome. I like it.
The bull snake, it hisses, but it has some ridges in its esophagus that make it kind of rattly sounding, like there's something tinkering around in there. So you got your, just think of like your deep singer voice and stuff,
Yeah.
because he's got a slightly messed up throat. Poor guy.
Yep. No, that's awesome.
Cool. I never like that. That's totally different than what I would have ever guessed.
Yeah, me too. It's very cool.
Cool. Very
Nature's
interesting.
awesome.
All right, we're gonna take a 5 minute break. We'll be back around 8:43. Our next topic is the birds and the bees. Oh yeah, okay.
Are we
So
ready
this is
for
a good,
this?
yeah, this is a good spot if you have young children around. You may want, well, you shouldn't let them listen to us anyways, but well, actually you should. It's a lot of good
Yeah, we just
information.
yeah.
But the
Yeah, we
birds and the
found
bees.
out about
What?
rainforests in the US.
And face farting.
And face farting.
Yep. And so the birds and the bees, meaning and origin of the phrase.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting. I've been really curious about that.
Do we
What
have
does it
anybody in
mean?
chat interested in this, or should we just skip it? Ooh, we'll come back. And if chat has voted to skip it, we will skip it. This will be our first thing that we ever do based off of a chat vote. Because we haven't had anybody vote on our exits yet. Cool.
All
All
right.
right, we'll see you in a
Yeah,
few.
5
5
minutes.
minutes. So now we're at 44, it looks like, or
Okay.
something. All right, bye. How's the music, everyone? Still need some new music.
I know. I was thinking about that. We even talked about it.
Did you fix your picture? I thought it was fine. You were all sad about it just because I didn't know what it was right away.
Oh, well, you didn't say you liked it.
I did like it.
Oh, well, no. I just figured if you thought it was confusing, then it might just be confusing to everybody.
I'll have to look at it again. I think I looked at it even on my phone. I don't know.
Oh,
I'll have to
well,
look.
you can keep it.
But you still didn't switch over to a new program yet though, still. Right?
No, I know.
Because I saw your
Yeah,
background on it. I saw the crumpled page. I was like, oh, that's the flipbook
Yeah.
thingy-majig.
I was thinking about doing that, getting the new program and messing around with it, and I was like, well, I can do that, or I can create pictures like I said I would. So I started with picture,
Yeah.
but I will start messing around. Got one done,
One done.
2 to go.
I liked it. I did like its theme.
It was a little confusing though for me too, and my cursive is horrible.
See, we're having a whole conversation and nobody knows what
Nobody
we're talking
knows what
about.
we're
It's the
talking
best.
Yeah.
It's the best. So I was hoping that I was killing time for our vote to come in. Our chat just died. Our community is no longer here. I mean,
Yeah, I think it was the fart jokes, and
the fart jokes.
I was thinking my stepdad loves fart jokes, so I figured this might be a way to get him.
Yeah, we gotta expand that audience. I
One
mean, right
fart
now
joke
we
at a
have
time.
5 concurrent viewers. It's an all-time high. And Bryce,
It's pretty amazing.
we're gonna have to help you set up your. We still have a couple of our NFT left, like all of them, but not.
No,
No,
yeah,
I
we
know.
need to get on that.
So you can get our cool NFT someday, and
Yep.
we're back to
You will
pushing
get
it
it.
again. That's so
Yeah.
funny. Back to that joke again. I'm surprised Craig hasn't said something about not getting his thing. And so, but we are up to 5 people. That's awesome. Awesome.
That
Thank you
is.
everyone
Feels
for
good.
tuning in.
Yep.
So,
Oh.
oh,
Oh. Thanks, Craig. He says, thought you had a poll feature. I've seen it on other real streams.
I have 2.
Zing.
Yeah.
You got us. It's not that kind of live stream.
Yeah, we're not fancy tech people or anything.
No. We're just pretending here.
Yeah. We don't advise millions and millions of dollars of computer systems. Nothing like that.
And we never thought about doing it until right before that. So
yeah, the poll would probably be helpful. So we still don't have a vote. He just is trolling us.
I think that is a no vote is a.
Which way does it go? Do we skip birds and the bees, or do we continue on? Huh?
But we can continue on, and we'll just come back to it. I guess I could just find out by myself later where it came from. Hello. Should I just put in there that I want to find out? I'm trying not to. We can move on.
Yep, we're moving on. Nobody voted for it. So we are on to America's. I know, it was so sad. It was so sad. America's nuke-resistant doomsday plane spotted doing training missions over Nebraska.
Oh, jeez.
All right. I don't know what I know what they mean by nuke resistant, but
I don't.
I would imagine that they mean by that is it's a self-sustaining plane that would be able to shield its occupants from radiation effects. That's what I'm guessing this is. When I read the title, though, of the article, it makes me think that the plane could take a hit from a nuke. I'm like, no. No. It's kind of like it's a nuclear explosion resistant, but I think it's really more along it can fly around after nuclear explosions happen and not get the bad effects that are in the atmosphere. That's what I would imagine it is. So let's see. The U.S. Air Force's nuclear bomb resistant doomsday plane took to the skies because of all the turmoil in the world. It's a modified Boeing 747. Took off from an air base in Nebraska, completed a 4.5-hour flight towards Chicago and back, landed. Okay, so what does it do? For one, it's only $200 million. There's yachts that cost more than that. Oh, okay.
Analog equipment.
Yep. There you go. So no
Cool.
modern digital stuff. That's smart. Yeah, you would want that.
Maybe like Escape from LA. What would you do?
Oh, it can withstand. I forgot about this. It could withstand the electromagnetic pulse from a nuke. Oh, I didn't even. Wow. Will you make a note, Darcy, please, for us next time to do. Just to research. I want to know how far an electromagnetic blast goes from a nuclear blast. The electromagnetic pulse goes from a nuclear blast, right? Okay, we're always worried about radiation and stuff, but that was back in like the 50s. We have a bigger problem with everything being electronic now, right? That would, like, I mean, you would have your own problems with radiation and, markets collapsing and all these other problems, but then on top of it, nothing electronic would work just because of that pulse coming out. I wonder how far it goes. So, it's almost totally windowless, equipped with special shielding. Yep, from blah blah blah. Special bump in the plane. Is for satellite dishes and antennas. Yep, cool. Ships, submarines, and landlines. How in the world do you? Wow, how do you communicate with landlines? I'm sure there's something radio signal somewhere, but you know what I mean. It's kind of like, how do they tap into the landline itself? Can they? That would be crazy. Just like, like not having a portal in. You kind of like a receiver, you know what I'm saying?
Does it work? I don't know. Like the first thing I thought of is like an RV when you hook it up to the water or whatever. Like, do you have to be landed and like hook it?
Yeah, but you're flying around. That's what it's kind of like. How are they doing that? Yeah, that's how I would expect. They'd plug it in and you would be able to be right in the landlines. But if you're flying, how would you do that without a plug? And then if none of the electronics are working, then how, on the ground.
Cool, what are those things? Beep, 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 beep.
Oh, old school modem?
No, that's awesome though. No, the
Morse code?
Yes, thank you. I was like, I can't think of what it's
called. That was actually a pretty good Morse code impersonation.
I know. It must not have been good enough though, because you're like old school modem.
Yeah.
Aw, yeah, I guess it did make that sound too.
That would have been like
fax machine.
Yeah, fax machine sound. Yeah, exactly. So blah blah. Nah, at no point does it say it can take a hit from a nuclear explosion. So I don't think it's that safe. I mean, I wouldn't want to be in a plane either.
No.
I don't know. I guess underwater would probably be the best spot at that point. But then your water's.
Is James your dad?
Huh?
Is James your dad?
That is my dad.
He says hi.
Uh-oh, he got into chat. Now we're full of trolls.
Yep.
Is that our community? We call them the trolls.
Yes.
And that is an enduring term of love, by the way.
We could call them pretending to trolls.
Yeah, they're pretending to trolls. Or other pretenders.
Yeah.
They're pretender trolls. Yep. Awesome. Welcome, Dad. Yep. So, or James. So, I just hit my mini button and now my mouse is all messed up. All right, moving on to space. Now that we've blown up the Earth, we are going to space. Look at this. Beautiful. Branching rock formation when water still covered the red planet. Is it?
I was thinking that it looked like water. Formed it without reading the first sentence. That's pretty cool.
I think I got my mouse back. All right, so the Curiosity rover. Oh, yeah, and my dad comes into chat right when it's his favorite subject of space, right, boys? we just had this conversation with Bryce and Link the other day, and my dad, how much he loves space. We only got a couple. We only got we only got 2 space things, so it won't be too much space. So the Curiosity rover snaps up the first close-up tiny mineral flower on Mars.
Awesome.
So if you didn't know, we have the Curiosity rover up on Mars driving around, and it just got a close-up personal with a tiny flower-like mineral deposit on the surface of Mars. And it kind of looks like, how would you describe it?
Um, it looks like, I don't know, like maybe there was some holes and the water just went in and I don't know. It looks like sediment and water and then everything else went away.
Doesn't it kind of look like
That's what
coral?
it does kind of look like coral, but I
Looks
have
a
a
bit
hard
like
time believing
coral
that there
or a
was coral.
sponge.
Yep.
And so they thought this was like proof of a living organism at first. Like not NASA, like people, the internet.
Yep.
The less
The
informed.
internet.
Well, the less informed, really.
Yep.
Sometimes more
Well, that's
informed,
fair.
depending.
Yeah. Yeah, I
But
mean it's fair. It does look like that.
yep. So, however, the deposit is not alive and is fairly common sight across the Martian landscape. So, it's how does it form? Um, they think it was a diagnetic feature or made from minerals that precipitated from ancient water that had previously been mixed with Martian rock. Um, yeah, so branch shape. The genetic features found on Mars are similar in size, but can either have a branch shape, also known as another dendritic form, like the Blackhorn salt, or more rounded, even spherical, like other rocks in the same photo. Cool. So, yeah,
Oh,
they've
that's cool.
uncovered a lot of different little things out there. And that's it. I think that was it. Yep. So,
Yeah,
just some cool
I like
water life.
I liked that you could see where the water might
Oh,
have.
the pores down here.
No, on the first picture.
Oh, okay.
That is cool though too. Where it was like it looks like the tide coming in or, waves in the sand.
And that probably also has to do with the Mars not having an atmosphere and winds cutting across it too.
Oh
That
yeah,
probably
that's true.
helps shape
Good
that a
call.
little bit.
Yep.
But yep, that I mean, they have overwhelming evidence that was water on Mars at one point. I mean,
Yeah.
at this point, that's a past discussion, except for if we don't really go to space, then, then it's not a past discussion. So, next, we talked about the James Webb Telescope last week and how they were aligning all the mirrors to be able to bring that star into focus. And it is done. So now we have the first picture from the James Webb Telescope with everything in focus. And this article will talk about it here in a second. What is going to come from a lot of the images is the star burst pattern, which is interesting because it's expected, but it's the way it was designed. So we're going to have all these it's going to be distracting, but then also cool at the same time, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But they can filter it out in their calculations, so it's not really that big of a deal. But the pictures will actually have that. So the star known as this HD 84406. We were just talking about naming branches yesterday, and I was like, just name them something meaningful. But then when you have like bazillions of stars, right?
Yeah.
Well, you might have to go to this.
Isn't it like region and then number or something?
Yeah, there's a guy on our team that helped write the standards and stuff. And well, he wrote them. Really, I'm not going to take credit for it. He wrote them, and so he used this kind of naming convention. And it was like, well, you can use that, or you can name it something more meaningful. But now, like, there's validity to doing it this way. So
yeah,
it's side topic, but what's the reason for that? Captivated by the spray of tiny dots scattered across the background. Yeah. So these other stars are what they hadn't been able to see before. Everything around this star. So they're like, oh my gosh, look at all the stuff in the background.
yeah, it looks like galaxies and everything. It's very cool.
Yeah, it really did look cool. And so the main mirror we talked about last week, it's got 18 hexagon segments. The alignment in each of these segments complete a smooth surface. Where do they talk about the starburst? I just want to explain what that's going on, and then we'll move on. Um, yeah, I don't see it.
Hmm.
We'll talk about it.
They're
It's
just
in
like,
here.
it'll be there and that's it. That's all you get.
Yeah, no, I don't know if it's in this one.
Yeah, we'll have to find it. Talk about it next week.
Yeah, I don't want to waste time on it. So there's a reason that starburst comes. That's not how it really looks out in space. It has to do with like the way, I don't know if it has to do with these right here, but I thought it had to do something with how it bounces off this big mirror or it comes in. I don't know. I'd rather tell people what it's doing rather than guessing. Oh yeah, by the way, the telescope cost $10 billion. If you want to know how much it cost, so we
How
don't want it.
many?
10, only 10 billion.
10
All
billion?
right, moving on. The new touch, artificial touch, the new tech making virtual reality more immersive. The feeling of touch and temperature are complex biological processes. Now, everyday chemicals like methanol and capsaicin,
Capsaicin.
capsaicin, 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 capsaicin. I don't know.
Capsaicin.
What'd you say?
Capsaicin.
Capsaicin. Yeah, that's it. Right there. Perfect. Are being used to stimulate them and create more realistic VR experiences. So you open a door and it hits you. A flare of warmth on your skin. You brace yourself to go inside. Battling smoke and heat, flames flicker around you as you make your way through a burning building. You find what you came for and escape. Outside it is so cold you start to shiver while your hands and feet go numb. Oh, that sounds horrible experience.
Yeah, it sounds very much like a nuclear explosion. I was like, wait, there's a fire and things are hitting you.
And
We
it's
just
warm and
talked about.
cold.
Yeah.
But then you remove your headset and it all stops. You just finished an incredibly realistic training exercise. None of these sensations were caused by changes in your surrounding, although they felt real. Instead, chemicals carefully selected to mimic different feelings were pumped onto your skin. Awesome. So, in a technology dubbed as chemical haptics, oh, we'll go here first. In the 1990s, studies of, say it,
Mm,
you're up,
sorry,
capsaicin.
capsaicin.
Yeah,
I just
your
took a
word.
drink of coffee.
Oh, sorry. Hey, yeah, when I'm talking, that's why I usually like when you're talking, I'm taking my drink of coffee too. It's funny. Um, in the 1990s, studies of
Capsaicin.
an extract of chili peppers and menthol found in peppermint helped us pin down how our bodies react to hot and cold conditions.
Hmm.
Now they're using this knowledge to create chemically induced sensations to make virtual environments astonishingly realistic. I need a drink. Those some big words.
Yeah, that was. Is this kind of reminds me of in Dune where the guy puts his hand in the box and he feels extreme pain and he just has to, overcome it and stay calm. Anyways, he pulls his hand out and his hand is fine. It's just reminding me of that. I'm like, so it's all in your head. But
We can't read
but it would
anymore.
still be real. Oh, dang it.
I know. It's a cut us off. Yep.
Well, there was a I feel like it was Bones, I think it was Bones actually, where they found this guy and he was dead in the middle of a field, and they had pushed him out of a helicopter, but he had thought that the helicopter was still like really high up in the air and was actually on the ground, and they had him blindfolded and threw him out, and he died because he thought he was going to die. And I wonder, like with something like this, could it could you be so
Mm-hmm.
could you believe it so much that um that you get frostbite or you get a blister or you die?
If you believe in
Like how
that
I guess
side of thing is just your mind being induced a blister. See, like for him, I would imagine the reason he died, if the story and everything is true, then it was probably because he was under so much stress thinking that he was falling out that he actually had a heart attack or an aneurysm
Yeah,
or
I think
something
that
like
might have
that.
been what it was, a heart attack.
So the level of his blood pressure and things induced by his mental state caused something to happen. A
Mhm.
blister on the outside of your skin. Now, I do believe that your brain could cause that. So I am in that belief set, which is not a very popular one, right? I do think that you can. I think we that whole tapping into, the control of that, and I think you could probably self-induce a blister, but realistically, no, you can't. I don't think. Like if I put
Yeah,
the
interesting.
normal, like the not trying to think of a little bit of stretch in science, then because it's kind of like the computer downloading your brain and stuff like that. Like what we've talked about over past ones. So
Yeah.
where I kind of do believe some of these other exotic things do exist, we just don't understand it. But I don't know if you could. I don't know if traditionally you can really point to anything where your mental state has caused blisters. What do you think? Or ice
I don't
frostbite?
I don't know. I mean, there's all these stories, right? But
Mm-hmm.
how do you know if it's real? Like
That's
the
why I
guy
believe
that
them. I want to
yeah,
make that a fact.
yeah,
I do believe
yeah.
on that. So
Yeah, because there's the story of the guy that got locked in a refrigerator cart on a train, but it turns out it was broken, but he what was broken was the thermometer, and he thought it was cold, so he ended up freezing to death. Like I've heard that. I heard it in school. I've seen it on shows, but like there's no like here's the facts and here's exactly where it
hmm
happened. It's like is it just a story? I don't know.
yeah, and
So
when
yeah,
and
can you
can you
look
gather the
into
facts? Yeah.
yeah.
But I
And did
think
he
you
freeze
can.
to death or like you where he had a heart attack? Yeah.
I do, but I am, but I'm on the belief set that I think you can do certain,
Yeah.
you can cause certain things that are kind of unexplainable with your brain. So
Yeah. Yeah, what's that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie where he goes to Mars?
Total
It's bringing
Recall.
it all together. Yeah.
Yep.
Is it like would it turn into a total recall where we wouldn't be able to tell reality from
Oh
um
yeah, with this, like you haven't. I know you haven't really done virtual reality. You don't even need
I
this
haven't
to
I've
like.
never tried it.
Yeah, just the headset alone pretty much tricks you. It's a very fine line at
And
that
and
already.
then you
So
add that?
yeah, you add this, it's over. It's yeah, you won't be able to realize that you're in virtual reality. I've played. I own multiple headsets, so yeah, I know that once you get to full room and you're disconnected with any wires, and then you would have haptic feedback suits, and then they could simulate warm and cold. Oh my gosh, like
So then it turns
you're
into the
already
Matrix.
like with some feedback, you would already be. I'm telling you, just even with just the headset, you're so close to not realizing you're still in reality. So
Huh.
close. There's little things here and there that constantly bring you out of it. Like you're like, oh yeah, yeah, and you just forget about them on purpose. But there's still
Yeah.
enough to keep you tethered. But once you get past the motion sickness, because there is that element, you got to train yourself a little bit. And it's not on everything, not to scare people away, but there is a lot that gives you motion sickness because your
Yeah,
brain
and I
can't
think
figure it out.
that's one of I mean, besides not having um set, but I get motion sick really easy. I have a really hard time with it. So
Yeah. So we would start you on
it's not
easy
something
stuff
I'm
like Beat
excited about.
Saber. I totally think Beat Saber is awesome, by the way.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah,
With
that
the
one's
little
that one's the
hand-eye coordination.
easiest one with no. I've never heard of anybody getting motion sickness. Now it's possible. Dad, my dad played VR and he got instant motion sickness. But then I tried the exact same program. It was a roller coaster ride, and yeah, I got
Oh.
instant motion sickness. It was the worst thing to give somebody as their first experience, right? Because as soon as it
That
hit the
sounds really
same
good.
point, it was instantaneous, like the worst motion sickness ever, and it was horrible. I mean, just with
Oh,
2 seconds of flashing in your eyes. That's it.
that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I can't was it Nintendo 64 came out and we got I think it was Goldfinger. I don't remember. Anyways, it was a shooting game. And so yeah, it was like 97 or something. 98. But
When you were like 10,
I yeah, when I was
just trying to
10.
make you older.
We already said how old we
I
are.
know.
uh but I I was really good at it, but I couldn't get past the first level because I was be so sick. I would have to go lay down. Like I couldn't I'd have to lay down for like 45 minutes. I
Yeah.
felt better, and I would try and play again. And I couldn't. I thought if I just kept playing it because I was having fun, I was having a lot of fun playing. But yeah, I just kept getting sick. We tried for a long time, and I just couldn't. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, I think overall my dad too. He's always like, as we played video games throughout the years, I don't think he's ever liked watching the shooter type style games because of the
Hmm.
same motion sickness. So,
Yeah,
but yeah, that was the
and
worst. He
your dad
did
is
put
the
on the
same.
headset, I think, for the ocean one, right? I think you tried the ocean one. Um, but that one was a much better experience, much more calming. But yeah, so
Yeah.
be careful. Virtual reality, you can do it with even if you have, um, sensitivity to motion sickness. It's just you got to make sure that people set up the right stuff for you, the right games, the right experiences, things like that. So,
It sounds like never mind. Yeah.
and so yeah, and my dad, to clarify, also, my dad says he just doesn't like the fake space stuff. He likes the
Yeah.
real, and so that is a huge distinction too. So that is not something I realized. I just thought he hated all space. And not that he didn't believe in it. I don't want to put him out there as a flat earther, or a non-space person. It was just like he just wasn't interested in it. But that is, now that puts it in a little more perspective. That's why he doesn't like superhero movies and stuff, because it's fake.
Oh,
Because it's
yeah, I
fake.
know. Rick's the
Yeah.
same way.
Well,
I love it. Anything that happens in space, I used to hate it when I was a kid. It was too vast for me.
mm-hmm.
Like it made me feel too small and it gave me that yucky feeling. Same with the ocean. Like it was just too much. Like how you're not even a drop, you know? Um, but then like learning more about it, like that's the thing that makes me excited about it is
Mm-hmm.
that you're not even a drop. Oh,
But
it just
then
like it yeah.
is the is the is the movie, the superhero movies, really teaching you anything?
Oh no, those are just fun.
Okay,
Now,
okay.
like once I stopped feeling um like it needed for me that it needed to matter that I was more than just nothing in the vastness, then like anything that happens in space, I just think it's cool. It's like I just think I love it. I think it's really exciting. I like that people have like this whole canvas to do whatever they want and um it could it could be as big as you want it to be because that's how
Because people don't know about it.
yeah. And it and the because it's basically endless, practically endless, then it's
It is
also
more or
like
less to
um
us.
yeah. So then like your imagination and like anything can happen out there. Everything that they say could be happening and none of it. It's very cool. That's the kind of thing that makes me excited about it.
Just like the Olympic rainforest that we didn't know
Similarly.
about until a
Yeah.
little bit ago. Anything could be happening
But
in there.
where the Olympics happen? Yeah.
Yeah, where like some Olympic events happened back in the day or something.
No, it's beautiful. Everyone should visit. Not all
Well,
at the
I'm
same time,
totally
though.
like, I didn't know there was a rainforest in the United. Like, I knew there was cool trees, and I knew that Washington State was beautiful for forests and stuff like that. But I didn't know.
Because it's in a
Yeah,
rainforest.
yeah, yeah. I did not know
That's
that.
why
Do they
every
have
time I
panthers
skip.
there? Do they have panthers, like
Yeah.
jaguars and stuff?
No, they do have cougars and um which I believe
I'm
they're
actually
also called
fascinated by
pumas.
that. Like that really, that was my biggest learning thing. This haptic thing's super cool, but I already knew this was all coming because they're already simulating smells and stuff like that too,
That's
and
awesome.
taste. I think somebody did something silly with taste, and they had like a few chemicals, and you could like they'd put them on this like little kind of like plastic thing that would come down into your mouth, and then you could taste whatever. Yeah,
That's pretty
and
cool.
and we're
Sounds
like,
pretty cool.
well, it's funny because like the really cool tech always comes out of Japan, and I think that's where it was.
Oh
It
yeah.
was like oh yeah, we won't see that for a few years. So it was interesting, but I think that's where they have it going. So speaking of how old we are, middle
Oh
age
yeah.
spread isn't down to metabolism,
But we know how to beat it.
but we know how to beat
Tell
it.
me now.
It's a myth. Oh, we got myths. We're debunking myths again. That extra belly fat in middle age is due to a slowing metabolism. And now we know what really causes the dreaded spread.
Yeah. I want to let's try and guess what it might be. I'm going to say
Eating more
hormone.
popcorn based off the pictures.
Yeah. And lifting really big weights. Oh,
Yeah.
I was like, why is she on her knees? But I think maybe you just haven't scrolled far enough. I'm
Or
gonna
I'll
say
go down
hormones.
just a hair so we can finish it. It's kind of like I don't know if that's a safe position right there.
No, it doesn't seem safe.
All right, so what's your guess?
Hormones.
Hormones. Okay, so you can fix hormones.
Well, you can take hormones to get more imbalanced, but I don't know.
I am
Some
okay, so I'm gonna break down the fix it part. I'm thinking if they're using that kind of, we can also fix it. It's got to be something semi easy. All right. I'm not thinking
yeah, but
taking more pills. You think this one's gonna go in the world of taking more pills or getting some kind of supplements?
yes,
Okay. So because that generalizes it really good for you. So then I'm gonna say, because I'm not gonna take that one.
yeah.
We already know that exercise works. Oh, I'm gonna take this angle. I bet they're saying more social interaction and more working your brain. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna go with brain work and social interaction, which is basically to me that's brain work. Like, you gotta think and you gotta kind of interact, and so you can't like. I think that I'm gonna say that they're saying that middle-aged people stay home more and stop thinking, and that is what the angle is. And you're gonna
Okay.
say supplements. Do we got any other votes? Give you like a few more seconds because I know we're a little bit delayed. All right. So let's see what the answer is. You can still guess. Um. Okay, so they're just talking about horrible stuff that happens to us as we get older.
Yeah,
I'm not even gonna read it because it's all known.
we
Um.
all know. Oh
Yeah.
wait,
But
this says middle age is usually 45 to 65. We don't even know what they're talking about with
oh,
middle age.
you're happy that
Yeah,
we're not in middle age yet. Okay, because
yeah.
of
Well,
population's getting older, so they've moved middle age up. It's not like
yeah,
you're in your 30s like anymore. Now it's up to 45. So.
yeah. My teacher said, if you when I was in college, and he's like, if you double your age and it's not likely you're still going to be alive, then you're middle aged. And I was like, oh, okay. It like gets a lot younger, but okay, 45 to 65.
All right.
Let's
So that's
see.
middle age now. Wow, that's
Mhm.
really interesting. The 65. That's like you're at retirement. So they're spinning this that you're retiring at middle age. I don't think a lot of people think that.
Yeah, no, I don't think they do.
Yeah, the end of middle age is when you get to retire. That's the new government spin, right? Right. It's
Yep.
just middle age. Like you can work till you're
Yeah, you're
80
still young.
now. Yeah, you're still young. Let's bump up when you can collect benefits. Yeah. Wonderful. All right. So it says the last of these is known as middle age spread, commonly accepted idea that we start to pack on the pounds around the abdomen as we get older. This excess weight is
Do you
said to
see what I see?
what? Oh
Yeah.
no! I just looked down. It's the best. It is the best. So we'll
We'll
continue
never
reading for
know.
about 2 seconds, and then we're gonna have to go. So this excess weight is said to be easy to put on and harder to shift than when we were younger. The thinking behind our once perky metabolism gets sluggish with age. We can no longer get away with as much, and our efforts to ditch the belly with diet and exercise becomes a losing battle. So that's I wanted to finish that because they're saying that you just got to accept getting old and fat. That's like that we just it's so much work with diet and exercise as we get older. Just give up. I don't subscribe to that. I mean, why? What?
Well,
Don't even
and
try.
yeah,
Just keep
well, and
trying.
how much of it is like you said, just not just only being told that not to try, but also that this is what always happens. Oh, you're for women, you're gonna hit menopause and your life is over. Or men, you're gonna get a gut and that's it. Like you're done. It makes zero sense. And how many of us fall into that and just believe it and everything does stop.
All
I don't
right.
know.
You are. Yeah, that's exactly it. I think it's all mental. right?
Yeah.
Did I paraphrase it right?
Yep. You sure did.
It is mental. And what happened was with our article, for those that may be just listening, it was a subscription. They didn't give us the
We don't
answer.
know.
And then, oh my gosh, this is something that people really need to look at, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see this?
Yep.
So this article was recycled by new scientists, which is okay because I mean we're reading other people's articles. That's no problem
Yep.
there. But this is something that people really have to realize when they're getting real information. I mean, this is good information, but this was written a year, almost like 6 months before, 7, 8 months before the new scientists picked it up.
Mm-hmm.
That happens
In
a
the
lot
UK.
nowadays, just in general, where they recycle something old to get a rise or to get that click or,
Mm.
to do things. Just look at the dates and put that in perspective of, this is more of a PSA on like, social media type things. But,
Yep.
it's just an example. It's happening here. This is okay that it's fine like this because this isn't anything sensitive. I would say recycle it, especially if it's got valid information. But
Before we
hmm?
let's find
I
out.
just want to find out, and then do we need a break? Huh?
A quick one this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a quick one.
And are we done at 9:30?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Quick break.
Oh,
Just take a
so
quick break, real quick.
okay. I'll be
All
right
right.
back.
Yep. So, do we have anybody left in chat? Let's talk to chat real quick. What do you guys think? Is it you can read this on my screen, or you can just make guesses, and we can talk about them while we wait on Darcy real quick. And ads are bouncing around on here. This is weirdo stuff. Wow, chat is so quiet, and now I just have so much dead air I gotta fill. Does chat have any opinion on today's articles? Do you guys like them? Do you not? Do you want to hear about different things, different topics? We have 2 more left for today.
I'm back.
Oh.
Sorry. I hope that was quick.
Yeah, that's fine. Nobody's talking to me. I was just talking to myself. And so, an estimated 2/3 of the energy consumed as food goes on fueling these vital processes. The rest goes into additional activities such as exercise. For example, the liver gobbles up around a quarter of our basic calorie needs. 500 calories for a woman, 625 for a man. The brain does almost 20%. The heart needs about 7%. Wow, that's interesting. So, if anybody wanted to know what the different components of your body need as far as calorie needs, like how they kind of divide up the calories when they get one, that's interesting. I never knew that. Like what would take up more? So they're saying the liver is 25%. That's your biggest calorie burner.
Well,
And
it
your
does a
brain's
lot
number
for
2.
you.
I would have went the other way around. I would have went with your brain being the biggest one, and then heart being way higher. Heart's not that big, so it doesn't take much to keep that guy going. Even digestive food uses up 15%. So digestion takes up 50%, 15%. Interesting. Calorie needs peak as a baby. Lifting weights and gardening can help.
So is
Fidgets
it
have
just
an
saying that we eat too
advantage.
much?
Avoid snacking and get plenty of sleep. To avoid snacking, get plenty. I stand by that. I do most of my snacking at the very, like when I'm up past the time I should have went to bed. Almost all the time. I always think about that too as I'm grabbing ice cream. Like, I should just go to bed. No, I'm getting some ice cream. Is that it? Why diets don't really work? Key to diet is to exercise smartly, combining eating sensibly with resistance training and aerobic exercise. Being obese can mean a higher metabolic rate because the body uses more fuel simply to haul extra weight around. By losing significant amounts of weight, this means your body will need less. Oh, so it's counterproductive to your metabolism in some ways. Very interesting. So really, obese people have a pretty high metabolism because of having to move all their weight around. I really thought of it that way.
Yeah, I haven't either. When I was running, then when I started running, I would burn a ton of calories. But the more I did it, and the more I lost weight, the less calories I burned, which I thought would be the opposite because I was being able to run faster and longer. I was sweating, I was doing all these things, and I was actually burning less calories. It was super interesting. Like, um, and I maybe that's the same thing with, um, I don't know. I don't know if it's the same thing as anything. It's just a thing.
Just the thing. All right.
Interesting. Huh.
So they really
Bodies
didn't
are
say
weird.
anything in here. There was no point to anything. It's just eat right,
Don't
pay attention
and
to stuff,
exercise.
exercise, diets, get sleep, fidgeting helps. I mean, but that's just staying active. So it's really just kind of a combination of what both of us. No drugs, but they said there's stuff to help. So
It
it
is
was down
really
lower.
I like that it broke down or tried to break down um the how your body burns calories though. Like your brain and your liver and um, your digestion.
Mm-hmm.
Those are cuz yeah, it's hard to like I think it's really easy to eat too many calories and I think it's really easy to not eat enough. I think it's hard. I think it's harder to eat the right amount. So,
Link was gonna write something about metabolism,
oh, is that
but
link?
it's yeah, that's Link. Or that's Trend Nation. Sorry. Thanks, Trend
Hey.
Nation.
Yeah.
Everybody else uses their names. I like somebody hiding their name. That's cool. And I can help anybody cut off their last names if they want. Um, and Grandma likes the topics. Cool. Good, good.
Oh, good.
So we got 6 minutes. If people want to vote, we can vote between the last two. Do we want to learn about bionic eyes or why flamingos are pink? And while we're voting, we will quickly talk about creatures living in our cities are evolving in some surprising ways. From mosquitoes to rats to foxes and birds, the urban environment is that transforming animals. I missed the animals word. I was like, wait, what? That doesn't make any sense. Transforming animals that live among us. But which new species should we expect next? Blah blah blah. Lots of stuff lives in. Oh my gosh, I am so done with New Scientist. Do we have any votes?
What were flamingos
And these are New
or
Scientist ones
bionic
too.
eyes?
Oh,
Um,
we're done. We can't. So you can tell us about why flamingos are pink.
because it's the shrimp that they eat,
Eh,
right? It
oh,
they're
is it? I don't know because we
yeah.
can't see.
I bet you could look it up.
Oh, right here we can
Yeah.
kind of see. So it's down to their diet of algae, shrimp, and crustaceans.
Yeah.
The wetland habitats they call home are packed with blue-green algae, which, despite their name, are actually red or orange in color due to chemicals known as beta carotene. This chemical also
Oh,
has
weird.
a red-orange pigment in it known as carotenoid, which is also found in carrots. Really? Would never guess that.
And sweet potatoes.
Sweet potatoes and spinach. That's kind of odd, spinach. Once
Is that
eaten,
sweet? But
go ahead.
I always get them confused. But yeah, never mind. I was thinking sweet potatoes. It's a yams that are white and sweet potatoes that are pink,
Ooh, Link
or is
got
it
it.
the other way around? Yep.
Link got the guess. Oh, we have to give out. See, if we had a cryptocurrency, we could give people our coins too as rewards. That'd be sweet,
Or we
right?
can just give them a round of applause. Good
No,
job.
I'd like them to have a cool coin. And then what would you use it for? Nothing.
For
Collections.
what?
I said nothing.
Oh,
That was my whisper of
you
nothing.
could you could have more say in what we do next. Your vote counts more
Your
if you
vote
have more.
counts more. You get extra vote. So you can get a double vote. Ooh, for a one-time double vote.
Yeah, except for nobody's really voting. So so yeah, nothing. We're
So
back to the
Link's always
beginning
gonna win because he's the first one that actually voted.
again. That's awesome. No.
Oh, we had a whole conversation. Oh, that's so funny. So James, he said middle-aged people aren't retired, and then Patricia was like, "What about old people?" And then James is so happy that he's middle-aged now. Yep. Yeah, that was actually what was interesting. Yeah. You can
Yeah,
call
that's
yourself
awesome.
middle-aged.
Yep.
So, we got 3 minutes. Yep, we'll just wrap up on this because the rest of our new scientist stinks, and we are going to remove new scientist stuff or subscribe for something. I don't know. But
Yeah, we'll have to figure that one out, huh?
yeah, because they did have a lot of good stuff, so we gotta figure that out.
Oh, it says right here. Register to get unlimited access to new scientist free content. They must have free content that we could get access to.
Hopefully, hopefully.
I can read.
So yeah, the pink flamingos diet is why they're pink.
Yeah. Yeah, I think when they're baby.
They're what? When they're babies, they're what?
White.
Oh, really?
The color white. Yeah.
So they're like
Than
swans?
color.
Do they get confused?
Yep. That's exactly right.
Like swim with the wrong parents or something?
Flamingos are just confused swans.
No, they're just swans that eat food in a different area. They used to be swans, and then they're like, "We're gonna live down here and eat this food," and then everybody's like, "Why are you pink?" It'd be like what Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory, where the one girl eats the blueberries and turns blue, right?
Yep.
Blueberry gum or chewy thing. So Violet, right? Wasn't that her name? Violet
I
something.
think so. I had a really hard time with it. With
You weren't a Willy Wonka thing
movie.
fan?
No, it scared me.
It was scary.
Yeah, it was really scary. I was well, and I was always like all the bad things. I was
You
always
see
worried something
chat?
like that would happen to me.
Sorry to cut you off. Do you see what happened in chat? They want us to give out bitcoins.
A whole one?
Yeah, a whole one. Yeah. I think Bitcoin's on the rise right now, and it's even at like 43K. Just went up like $3,000 yesterday. So, yeah, everybody wants a Bitcoin. So, yeah, Willy Wonka, you were saying, is pretty scary. Why do you think? What was the most scary thing from it?
That something bad would happen to me and I'd be stuck like that. That and then all the grandparents living in one bed. Like, those two things just scared me really bad.
Sorry. Grandparents living in one bed.
Yeah, it made no sense. Like start to finish, it's just like there's gonna be a bunch of horrible things that are gonna happen to all these people around you, and there's nothing you or they can do about it. I don't know. It was just that's the kind of stuff that freaked me out when I was a kid. I don't know, like the never ending story. I think I've told you this. Like the name The Never Ending Story scared me so bad when I was a kid because it was a story that never ended. And yeah.
I figured out how to vote.
Kid. Oh, you did?
How to do it. Yeah, I just posted a poll and it just said vote and then it said yes now. But oh yeah, and it's giving me results. Do you get to see that in chat? You seeing this?
Yep.
Yeah.
I am seeing.
Yeah, we're smart now. Yeah, the never ending story was also scary too when you brought that up. Yeah, I mean I'm a huge I liked Willy Wonka, the fantasy, but I would say my scariest part in that movie, I always found the Oompa Loompas a little creepy.
Oh yeah.
Just because they took people away.
Yep.
Like that part was like, that part was a little rough to deal with as a kid. I remember seeing that first, like, and you kind of just dismiss it, but if you thought about it, it was like they just took that poor kid away. Like, yeah, like what? The parents are just like, we have no control over this. So
yeah.
All right.
The kid that got real small and they took him to the toffee area to like stretch him out. I'm like,
the whole thing is just, it was so funny. You're right. That one. And then we're over time, so we'll just end. But yep, it looks like everybody likes voting, so we figured out voting way better. That's awesome. And
Good job, Jeff.
my mom said that she wanted to vote for the birds and the bees, but couldn't figure out how to do it.
That's
So
fair.
we'll bring that article back since we have a vote for it.
Yeah, I wanted to know too.
That's what he didn't like. He didn't. Oh my! I forgot about that. I was like, "What the world's he talking about?" Yeah, the squirrels in the assembly line. Didn't they all just look at him like when somebody did something when it was like, and then they came and pounded on him? Wasn't that the nut one? Like, because they were trying to crack him or something?
Is that the new one or
Oh,
the?
maybe that's okay. So then, yeah, maybe that was just in the newer one, huh?
Yeah, because I don't remember. I mean, I can only think of the. Well, because the newer one's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, right?
Mm-hmm.
See, the Gene Wilder one was Willy Wonka,
Yep.
or is it the
Yep.
other way around?
Nope. Nope. You're right. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I think. Yeah, because the other one's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. But all
Yeah,
right.
I don't remember the squirrels, but that does seem terrifying. All right. Well, it's been real and it's been fun.
Yep.
And
It's
nice
been
talking about
real
that.
and fun, and I'm ending the poll because they wouldn't let me do anything else. We're just gonna say bye today, and now that we know how to do polls, we'll figure out some cooler stuff. Oh, just figured out emojis right next to the poll button.
Nice.
Little.
Well, we can maybe next week we can do a poll for how to exit,
Yep.
and that's what we'll do. That might be
I
fun.
don't know if it's yes
We'll
no
probably
poll will
forget.
work, but we'll have to. Oh, it said add more options. Maybe I don't know. Cool. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Have a good weekend.